Mr. Bennett, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. The world is waiting and watching to see how Israel responds to Iran's ballistic missile strike on Israel last week. What do you think they should do?
I believe that Israel should strike Iran's nuclear program and strike regime centers, and I'll explain why. The ultimate strategy that I believe that the world should have is to not allow to Iran acquire a nuclear weapon ever. And how do you do it? By accelerating the toppling of the regime. It will fall, and ensuring that in the meantime they don't acquire a nuclear weapon. So basically you need two efforts: to accelerate the toppling of the regime and to slow down the acquisition of nuclear weapons.
Does Israel have the capability, though, to do it alone?
Yes. We can strike and cause considerable damage. I don't know if we can destroy the whole program, but as I said, we have to delay it while we accelerate the pace of the toppling of the regime.
When you say toppling of the regime, I mean, is everything on the table?
Well,
should Israel go after the supreme leader?
Never before was one nation attacked by so many long-range ballistic missiles like what we had just a few days ago. Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran, to be accurate. The regime, I'm separating it from the people. The people are an amazing people, the Iranians. But the regime is not really a regular regime. It's an octopus of terror. It's the head of the octopus, and we should not take anything off the table.
Including targeting the supreme leader?
Everything should be on the table.
The cabinet is meeting this evening to discuss what to do about Iran. What would you tell them to do?
I would say we have the legitimacy more than ever. We have the ability more than ever. Iran is at its most advanced point in history. It's acquired uranium in an amount for 10 nuclear bombs. This is crazy. They're building the bomb already, the bomb itself. So we're in the 11th hour. I would say strike the nuclear facilities, strike the regime. Don't be afraid. The Israeli nation stands behind you.
This is despite caution from the Americans.
That's correct.
Is this you saying to the Americans, look, you may have asked us to have ceasefires, you may have asked us to, strike in the way that, as President Biden said, is proportionate to the strike that Israel faced by Iran?
So should we shoot thousands of rockets on Iranian citizens like what they did? Is that the proportional? Should we send Israeli soldiers to go and rape Arabs because that's proportional to what was done to us? If we did what was proportional, it would be the most horrendous attack, because what's been done to Israel over the past year is crazy. So it's much less than what they did to us. Because Iran, through its tentacles, raped, burnt families, kidnapped people, shot thousands of rockets on Israel. We're not going to do that to Iran. What I think we need to do is take out its nuclear program and its regime.
Let's talk about Gaza, because the international community has been divided in the way in which Israel has handled the conflict there. We have seen over now 42,000 people have been killed, 97,000 people have been injured. Gaza is under
half of which
rubble.
Are terrorists, half of the
But 16,000 of them were children.
Well, I want to be very clear here. The sole responsibility for death of civilians in Gaza is Hamas. That's because their whole system is based on placing their rockets against Israel within the citizens. If they stop using their own people to kill us, they'll stop killing their own people. They are the murderers, not Israel.
But what we've seen over the course of a year is international condemnation. Allies of yours, the United States, the UK, France, Germany, these countries coming out, and they've stood with Israel for decades, and now they're saying Israel has gone too far. When you say that, destroying Hamas or reaching some kind of victory, even if they are launching one or two rockets, they're still launching rockets. They're still there.
They are. I think we need to prosecute this faster and stronger than we've done. I will say this, however. Israel is fighting a war on behalf of the world against the craziest, most fanatic jihadist ideology and terrorists on earth. we are fighting Iran on behalf of the world, because imagine that Iran acquires a nuclear weapon. Europe's going to be under fire. I think the world should be applauding Israel for fighting these forces of evil and not stand aside and keep on criticizing the very people who are fighting for the world's future, the freedom of the world.
When you look at how Israel has decapitated Hezbollah, 2,000 people have died in Lebanon, over 1 million people have been displaced. But when you have wanted to target people in a very precise and lethal way, you've been able to do that.
Sometimes you're able to do it, sometimes you're not able to do it. But the whole line of questioning is wrong, because you're asking us, who have been attacked out of the blue on October 7th by thousands of terrorists that murdered our children, burned families, raped women, Hezbollah, who killed dozens of Israelis over the past year. They should be asked, why are you doing this? Why are you killing Israelis? Why are you killing your own families by using your home in a cowardly fashion? If we let them get away with it, let me be as clear as possible. They're going to do this in the UK. They're going to do it in New York. They're going to do it in Paris. They're going to use citizens to hide behind. This will become the world's plague. Israel is fighting your war. And instead of sitting on the side benches and giving us criticism all day, the world should back us in defeating this horrible, savage terror.
So just finally, if I can just be clear, you believe everything should be on the table, the nuclear sites, the targeting of Iranian leadership?
I believe that we need to do everything in our ability to accelerate the toppling of the Iranian mullah regime and free the people, and everything to delay as much possible as we can Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. And everything should be on the table.